Arsenal have made it through to the Champions League final in Budapest. Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to centre around the event that took place last night in the Champions League semi-final second leg between Arsenal and Atletico Madrid. And it's a big congratulations first and foremost to Arsenal, who have made it to the final of the Champions League for the first time in 20 years. Reaching the final in Budapest, where they will be facing one of Bayern Munich or PSG. The deciding factor will be played tonight in the second leg of their Champions League semi-final, but this will be focusing on Arsenal, who made it there last night thanks to a Bukayo Saka goal in the first half. That proved to be the difference maker. The only goal of the night in what was not exactly a clinic of a game of football, not exactly the best game of football you're ever going to see in your life, but for Arsenal Football Club, it was an important game, an efficient game, and a game that we're going to be looking into and picking apart a little bit in this video. Before we get into all of that though, would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever greatly appreciated. And I also encourage each and every single one of you to get involved in the comment section down below. Use and abuse that section, people. Talk to me on this big news story revolving Arsenal making it to the Champions League final. What do you make of it all? What are your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, about Arsenal, a team that divides opinion down the middle, it seems. Would love to know what you guys have to say on all of this, because I'm sure it'll have great and interesting reading, whatever it is that you have to say. Otherwise, let's get on with the video ourselves. Let's talk about this conversation revolving Arsenal making it through to the Champions League. And look, first and foremost, I've got to say that I've made it no secret on this channel that I do not wish much to no success at all for Arsenal. I wish for them to succeed in nothing this year, and I've made my feelings and thoughts on all of that perfectly clear in terms of I don't want them to win the Champions League, but they're in a final. I don't want them to win the Premier League, but Manchester City slipped up yet again, and it looks like Arsenal may actually go on to at least win one or the other, mainly the Premier League rather than the Champions League, but they are through to a final, and we know that in a final of any description and any kind, anything can happen. But that doesn't mean that I can't give a fair and balanced review of the game and of the situation that Arsenal find themselves in. Because let's be honest here, people, Arsenal played pretty well last night. I thought Atletico Madrid were at the same time absolutely dreadful. I was expecting a bit more out of Atletico Madrid. I still expected Arsenal to go through to the final. I did predict that Arsenal would meet PSG in the final, and whether or not that actually does happen or not remains to be seen, of course. Sorry, my alarm's going off. But at the same time, I still expected more out of Atletico Madrid, more out of Diego Simeone's side. But I guess with them not facing a fellow Spanish team or a team that played into their hands in terms of playing a ridiculously high line, Atletico just had nothing in terms of an attacking prowess. In fact, they had two good opportunities at the beginning of the game and had very little to show for it afterwards. Maybe you could credit Arsenal, but I still think Atletico, with the players that they have at their disposal, could have still made something of this game in the attacking third. Especially with obviously how, Arsenal went a goal up at half-time. Second half is all there to play for. Atletico needed to come out of their shell a little bit more and obviously attack a bit more to have any hope of remaining and staying in the competition. But even Diego Simeone's substitutions had little to no effect on the game whatsoever. And Arsenal, I don't think it was like their best performance or anything, but it was an efficient performance, like I say. I felt that Miles Lewis-Skelly and Declan Rice in the middle of the pitch were absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And it goes to show that they've had this guy sat on the bench in Miles Lewis-Skelly all season long, playing at left back last season. And surprisingly, his best performances have come alongside Declan Rice in the middle of the pitch. Now, is this something that could happen in every single game that Arsenal play? I think it's a bit of a situational plan that they have there with Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think obviously he progresses the ball well, much better than what Zubimendi does. But again, he was absolutely outstanding, as he was at the weekend. He was absolutely outstanding in both games for Arsenal. And alongside Declan Rice, Mr. Consistent himself, he was brilliant. I thought Viktor Gyokeres also deserves his flowers for last night. Viktor Gyokeres had probably his best game in an Arsenal shirt, and he didn't even score or assist. The guy was a thorn consistently and constantly in the side of those Atletico Madrid defenders. His runs into the channels, his hold-up play, his build-up play, his bringing others into play, all of that kind of stuff was just, his all-round game was absolutely outstanding last night. Like I say, the only thing missing was just a goal or an assist, but it didn't necessarily matter when obviously Arsenal still progressed anyway. He probably could have had a goal himself had he kept his shot down in the second half. When realistically he probably should have scored. That's probably the only blemish on his record last night. I thought Viktor Gyokeres was absolutely outstanding in every aspect and facet of the game. I know he gets the goal and he is the difference maker on the day, but I didn't think Bukayo Saka had a particularly great game, which, again, if you look online and you go to various social media platforms and various accounts from Arsenal fans, I know he does get the goal that takes you to a final, but some of those Arsenal fans were waxing lyrical like he was amazing, like he was outstanding, like he was phenomenal throughout the course of his game. I don't think he was. I really don't think he was. Like, he was in the right place at the right time to score the goal. Credit to him. But it's a goal that even my 2-year-old daughter could have scored. Otherwise, I think his passing was a little bit off. There was one moment in the first half in particular where Gyokeres is making a run down the right and he just stands in his way. He just stands completely in Gyokeres' way. He loses the ball, he loses momentum, and Atletico Madrid can come away with the ball. Saka was poor, in my opinion, last night. I don't think he was anywhere near that great. But according to some Arsenal fans, he seemingly was online. I know he gets a goal. I know it adds to his profile and his his attacking output, and especially his attacking output in big games. But again, I think a little bit of context is needed in that regard. But Arsenal fans won't care too much. Like I say, Arsenal fans just care about getting over the line after years of not being able to. And now they have a phenomenal opportunity of a incredibly historic season. Not only are they in pole position to win the Premier League, and let's be honest here, people, I mentioned it yesterday in a video that I did about the Premier League title race. The chances are is that Arsenal are going to win the Premier League title. But now they are in a fantastic position to maybe go on and win the Champions League. They're in the final. It is probably likely that regardless of who goes through tonight between PSG and Bayern Munich, Arsenal might be the slight underdogs in a lot of people's eyes. Slight. The one thing Arsenal has over both of those teams is that their defence is superior. Their defence is superior to PSG's, even though PSG's is very, very good. They attack and defend from the front line. They work their socks off. They are a much more efficient and well-oiled machine than they have been in years gone by. And their attack is phenomenal. Likes of Doué, likes of Barcola, the likes of Kvaratskhelia, of course, and of course the Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele make up a phenomenal front three, which also, like I said before, defends from the front. But even so, Arsenal are still better, more rigid, more disciplined. It's a reason why they have conceded, I think, the fewest goals in all top 5 European leagues. And then there's Bayern, who themselves have got a phenomenal attack, but defending-wise, they struggle. Defending-wise, they are not that great. They're not that great. When it comes to defending, they are not the best. And if Viktor Gyokeres is going to have another game like he did have last night against Bayern Munich, if they meet them in the final, Arsenal are likely the favourites in my opinion. I think if PSG get through, PSG are the favourites. I think if Bayern get through, Arsenal are the favourites. And that terrifies me. I do not want Arsenal to win the double. I do not want Arsenal to win any trophy at any kind. But let's be real. They're likely to win the Premier League. And they've got a good chance of winning the Champions League. I can't reiterate that point enough. I don't want them to. I don't want them to get across that finish line. I, as a Liverpool fan, am frustrated every single frigging day that this Arsenal side continue to be in the right place at the right time with these types of things. I remember Atletico Madrid of years gone by used to frustrate us in the Champions League, and you know, they used to be a thorn in our side, and that Atletico Madrid team last night that we witnessed were actually pathetic. Across both legs, they were pathetic, in my opinion. That frustrates me. I've seen the best City sides us go toe to toe with them in their prime, with prime De Bruyne, prime Aguero, prime Vincent Kompany, and yet we have nothing to show for it. Finishing seasons with 92, 96, 97 points, so on and so forth, and still having no Premier League winners' medal to show for our efforts in that season. And then Arsenal come along in the right place at the right time, and they beat Atletico, and they're going to go through to a final against a PSG or a Bayern Munich. They're going to go and win the Premier League with, I think, a maximum points tally of something in the region like 84, 85, something along them lines. You have to be in it to win it. You have to be in the right place at the right time. I'm just saying that as a Liverpool fan, life is cruel, and I'm sure Jurgen Klopp is feeling the exact same way right now. But this isn't about Liverpool or Jurgen Klopp. That's just my own frustration on witnessing football and witnessing the Premier League and witnessing the Champions League right now. This is about Arsenal, and like I say, last night, those 3 players that I mentioned in particular were absolutely outstanding in my opinion. They deserve huge plaudits for what they did. I thought Atletico were dreadful across both legs. I was expecting so much more out of them to make it a more intriguing battle, a more intriguing contest, but they were so lackluster. I think there may have been like a 30-minute period maybe in the first leg where I thought they were actually decent, but 30 minutes across a 180-minute affair and double header is simply put not good enough. But Arsenal deserved to go through last night. I just hope, from a rival fan's point of view, that they do not win the Champions League this season. I'm hoping it's going to be PSG. I'm hoping it's going to be Bayern. I mean, let's be honest here, people. The stories write themselves. Harry Kane, former Spurs player, beating Arsenal in a final, or PSG retaining the Champions League title, former club of Mikel Arteta, of course, and yeah, the stories write themselves. I'm just hoping that it's not going to be a double success for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. I really, really hope it's not. Otherwise, like I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to have to take a long holiday at the bottom of the ocean or on top of Mount Everest or even try and get to the moon. Because these Arsenal fans, and rightfully so and on some level, are not going to shut up about this achievement. And they're going to be even louder, even more annoying, even more irritating than they were before they actually won something. So imagine what it's going to be like when they actually do win something. Yeah, it's going to be a long summer. Going to be a long, long summer. But those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. Either this guy, I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling. Let me know in the comment section down below what you make of Arsenal making it through to the Champions League final this year after 20 years of being absent from this stage of the competition. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about all of that and more, of course, as we've discussed in this video. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up, enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch, this has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers guys, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.